Here, we introduce measures to prevent damage from ionizing radiation. First, let's learn about the effects of ionizing radiation on ecology. There is no clear medical knowledge whether a failure occurs when the radiation dose received is small, less than 100 millisieverts, and long-term studies have shown no increase in cancer in individuals who received the radiation dose less than 100 millisieverts. We are routinely exposed to natural radiation, such as radiation from space and radioactive potassium injected with food. Such types of radiation cannot be completely eliminated, but the amounts we receive are so small that they have no effect on our health. The effects of radiation on health depends not on the presence or absence of radiation, but on the amount received, which is also called the radiation dose. Remember units in order to control exposure dose. CPM is a unit that represents the number of times radiation is measured per minute by a radiation meter. Becquerels is a unit that represents the number of atomic nuclei that disintegrate per second. Sieverts is a unit used to evaluate the risk of developing genetic effects such as cancer when a person is exposed to radiation. While entering the management area, while engaged in decontamination work, etc., attach a radiation measuring instrument to following body parts. Take care not to bend or wet the radiation measuring instrument. If the dose received on a body is not uniform, it must also be worn on the next part. For internal exposure, the whole body counter, WBC, etc., is used to calculate the exposure dose from radioactive materials taken by the inhalation or the ingestion. Receive the measurement results of the external exposure and the internal exposure from a company and store them in a safe place. The radiation exposure limit is 100 millisieverts for 5 years and 50 millisieverts for 1 year. Smoking, eating, or drinking is prohibited in workplaces where there is a risk of inhaling or ingesting radioactive materials. Be sure to receive a special education before engaging in radiation works for the first time. If you always work such as radiation works, have a medical examination by a doctor. Receive the results of the medical examination from a company and store it in a safe place.